It is Friday, September 23rd, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Friday puzzle today, and maybe this is finally the tricky, difficult puzzle we've been waiting for after a fairly easy week. Who knows? Who knows? But I do actually have yet, and I know I keep saying this, but it has been repeatedly true. I have fairly significant time constraints today, so I do hope this isn't too brutally difficult because I have to get through it in a reasonable amount of time. So this uncertain edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Laura Sexton, Victoria Rojishka, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous, direct support in keeping this channel alive. Thank you so much. I do very much appreciate it, and that's what allows this to be a sustainable daily enterprise for me. If you'd like to join their ranks as a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve, or of course, if you back the Patreon campaign at any level, you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And thank you to everybody who has done that as well. Now, I'm, for the same reasons as my time pressure, I'm probably not going to be able to get the Friday weekly mini puzzle speed solve out today. I will, of course, still do it this week. It just might take an extra day or two. But yes, I will obviously continue to put up bonus videos on the channel. They'll just be slightly delayed this week. So let's, do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, and do check out the Daily Solve Discord chat server if you'd like to become part of that community. Links to all of these things are in the description field underneath the video. And now let's move on to the puzzle. This is a Friday crossword constructed by Eric Agard, a very experienced constructor responsible for some 70-something New York Times crosswords, and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. It's a Friday puzzle, so it will be themeless, presumably. So let's just get to it. So jargon could be argo, so it could be or argot, could be or it could be lingo as well, actually. So I suppose I don't know. Those are both feasible. Like old-fashioned sound reproduction. Mono as opposed to stereo, so it has a single audio channel. That doesn't fit either of my two guesses. Let's look at the crosses here. Setting for Life of Pi. Okay, I never saw Life of Pi, but it was set on the ocean. I guess it's a book as well, and some kind of stage production. So anyway, not familiar with any of them, but I do know its premise. Legends. I'm not sure. Could be legends as in a key on a map, or it could be the more obvious meaning of legend, meaning a famous, person or thing. Strength. Could be an asset. I wonder if mono's wrong. Makes plans for the future. Question mark. I don't know, I'm losing confidence in mono. What about this? Legends. Cheek or backbone. Those both refer to some form of kind of inner strength or drive. I mean, cheek has a sassier connotation than backbone, but is this sort of double misdirection where I need to be misdirected back to the anatomical parts? I'm not sure. Pretend to know the host, say. Name drop, but that's not enough letters, and that's not really pretending necessarily. Boy, I don't know. Maybe this is the hard one today. Not in bounds. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Symbol of Hawaii. What is the symbol of Hawaii? I don't know. Don't remember. Do I know? I'm not sure. Shops, Granite State School. Oh, that's funny. We also have symbol of Hawaii here. Maybe this one's a lei. I mean, maybe it's not the official symbol of Hawaii, but rather a symbol of Hawaii. Don't know. Need some crosses. Graffiti, e.g. Could be a tag, maybe? Okay, cry from a doll. Mama? Aren't there dolls that cry? Cry mama? I'm not sure. Let's check the crosses. Bro. My man, maybe? Okay, here's my first potentially convincing cross. Oof. Ever so slightly. A bit or a tad? Don't know which of those it is. What about this? Some sculptures and sects. Here we have sects being referenced in the New York Times crossword again. What quality could those both possess? Robotics Club Challenge. And chops. Axes, as in a tree? I mean, that S could be perfectly plausible there. What makes juice expensive? What makes juice expensive? Some kind of tax? With an X? Ever so slightly a tad. Okay, that fills that in, not a bit. Robotics Club Challenge. I don't know. Ethnocentric lens critiqued by Toni Morrison. I wonder if my man is my guy, because that could be white gaze, sort of counterpart of the male gaze, but the ethnocentric version. Would that help this Robotics Club Challenge? Yeah, it would. Maze. You make a robot that goes through a maze. Some sculptures and sex. Oh, nudes, right. Okay. Well, okay, wish I could have jumped straight to that, but I didn't. Graffiti EG. Okay, so it's not a tag. What is it? Art. And then street art in this case, and then symbol of Hawaii. Maybe it is a lei. And then Granite State School is New Hampshire with an H. University of New Hampshire. Is that the Granite State? Symbol of Hawaii. Oh, hula, maybe, as in hula dancing. Could that be it? Oh, and chops is hues, right. So as in a tree, indeed, but not the word I had in mind. So, oh, what makes juice expensive is energy tax. That's funny. So juice being used in a slangy way to refer to energy rather than, fruit juice, for instance, which is what I had in mind. Joy that might come from being aligned in one's body. General happiness or something? That doesn't really sound sufficiently specific. Not to be trusted. Shifty or slimy, maybe? Or doesn't look good against the gen. Not to be trusted. What about this limbo prerequisite? I don't know, agility or sort of, if you're doing the limbo is what I'm wondering. Limbo prerequisite, not sure. Pisces, but not Aquarius. I do not know. Let's keep looking for short, easy things. V5, Roman numeral. Let's check the crosses on that. Neopronoun with a nod to folklore. Don't think I know that. What about this? Characteristics that rarely change in cartoons. Characteristics. I don't know. Wind up. I don't know, to rag someone or razz them or something like that. I don't know if that's right. Capitalizes on. Uses? I'm not sure if that's enough. Well, that just tells me this is a plural, which I already knew. Okay, agent, informally. Fed, federal agent. Recipe abbreviation. I don't know. I would have thought something like teaspoon, TSP. I don't know. Fed could be wrong. I'll leave it in there just for now. Breakaway groups are sects. There we go. So, right. So maybe this is teaspoon. That S is well positioned for it. Legends are cheek or backbone. I don't know any of these things. Strength. If I put in asset, does that help at all? Like an old-fashioned sound reproduction. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Something not to look after. Pisces, but not Aquarius. Gotcha. I don't know. Washer, dryer. Capitalizes on. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion blank Tina show. Oh, have I seen this before? I can't remember. Aid in getting a job in marketing, in brief. In brief, I don't know. Bit of whistleblowing, maybe. And blank bien. Could be très bien in French, meaning very well, very good. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I read this wrong. This says rapper Megan Thee Stallion blank Tina Snow. I think I said Tina Show as if it were the name of a program. No, maybe it's her name. So AKA or Nay possibly. Not sure. Bit of whistleblowing maybe. Boy, I'm really struggling here, aren't I? It's often drawn with 3 ellipses. It's often drawn with 3 ellipses. So ellipses are the 3 dot characters. What does that mean? It's often drawn with 3 ellipses. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Overcome decision fatigue is to act, to finally make a decision, and be accountable for. You own something, like you own a decision, then overcome decision fatigue could be opt. You opt for a choice. It's probably better than act, because that specifically refers to making a decision and choosing something. So gives an edge. Is there any way this is whets, as in a blade with a whetstone? I have no idea if that is likely to be correct. But it feels like it might be. Like the Navajo language, is it? That's a tonal language, right? That's one of the things that makes it so difficult, I think. An ancient Hindu text. Is it a sutra? That would be my guess. One of the sutras. Okay, sought help from during a crisis. Lent on, or what works with this NT? You sought help from, something to, ran to. There we go. Sympathetic assurance. I care, maybe? Okay, this was the corner to seek out, clearly. Book that becomes a synonym for finally, when T is added to the end. At last. Well, atlas becomes at last when T is added to the end. And they're separated at some salons. Toes, I suppose, are separated in a pedicure or something like that. Okay, movie whose sequel was subtitled Back in the Habit. Well, you know, it's funny, I actually never saw, I know this is Sister Act because I definitely remember seeing the film Sister Act, but I never saw the sequel Back in the Habit now that I think about it. Okay, so question to an indecisive pet, in or out, you might ask? And, interesting. Joy that might come from being aligned in one's body. I mean, this sort of looks like gender dysphoria, but that's kind of the opposite of this. That's if you don't feel aligned with your body. So could it be gender euphoria? There's no question mark here, which makes me think maybe this is a real term, and I just wasn't familiar with it, which is, I mean, entirely possible. But I think that looks like that's probably the answer. I mean, this is a very specific cross-section of letters here. It's hard for me to imagine that isn't the answer. So does that help with this? Not to be trusted. I don't know. Limbo prerequisite. What about this? Neopronoun with a nod to folklore. I don't know what that folklore bit means. Okay, Pisces, but not Aquarius. And gotcha. I wonder if there's any way this isn't 5. This looks odd here, this. Gotcha. I was wondering if this ends with over, maybe? No, but this is definitely Sister Act. Okay, and that wouldn't change 5 anyway. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to move on. Really teeny could be itsy, maybe? Itsy bitsy. Tine with 6 Emmys. Oh boy, I don't know. Prefix with week or wife. Midweek or midwife. Okay. When are you getting here? ETA? You're asking for an estimated time of arrival? Bagel. I think bagel is used to as with many things, I suppose, used to mean kind of a score of 0, nil maybe. Could that be then? So daily tine or tine daily. Not sure. Here we have knew that was coming. Knew that was coming. This is an interestingly phrased clue. It's in quotation marks, so it sounds like it's something you'd say, but it doesn't say I. It doesn't say I knew that was coming. I wonder if that suggests that I is in here, which means it couldn't have been used in the clue. I bet it is, or something, or I don't know. Or maybe it's specifically indicating you don't say I. In fact, you would say I in such a phrase, but you aren't saying it in this case because it's not in the clue. I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Record skip. Some kind of pun happening here, as indicated by the question mark. So it isn't just a record skip in a physical sense. Blank beer hall, Tokyo landmark. No, not sure. I've been to Tokyo once, but this doesn't ring a bell. Blank climbing a tree. Oh, ants climbing a tree. Szechuan noodle dish. Yeah, I've encountered that before. So does that help? Record skip. Knew that was coming. There it is. Ah, there it is. It's also what I'm saying after getting that answer. Alphabetize, e.g. That's a manner of sorting. So New York neighborhood near Little Italy, Soho, would be a New York neighborhood near Little Italy. So there's a Japanese beer brand, Asahi. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that properly, but you encounter it pretty frequently. It's in Japanese restaurants, that kind of thing. So I wonder if it's the Asahi Beer Hall, maybe. Major brewery has a famous beer hall. I mean, that's perfectly plausible. Multinational hardware and electronics brand, Acer fits in this space. And, record skip, no comment. You're not going to comment for the record if asked by a reporter. That's clever. It's a very clever way of putting that. Current issue is short. A short circuit would be an issue with electrical current. And British weight, stone. That's fitting. In yesterday's Wordle, I started with the word stone because I needed to come up with something that was equivalent to 14, and there are 14 pounds to a stone, and a viewer had suggested that in a comment. Okay, attend is to go to an event, maybe, as simply as that. Champions cry, we win, perhaps. This is referring to multiple champions, as you can see in the clue, so we win as opposed to I win, which wouldn't fit anyway, but I just mean that helps you be certain the answer is more likely to be correct. It's often drawn with 3 ellipses. I still don't know what this is. Pisces, water. Oh, well, Pisces does have to do with water, but Aquarius. But that I would have thought that does too. Maybe not. I mean, Pisces is a fish, so I don't know. Water sign looks like it's got a W. Characteristics that rarely change in cartoons. What is that? Oh, ages, maybe? Characters don't age often. Oops. They kind of, that is a common element of cartoons. So, wind up. Oh, maybe it's not wind up as in annoy somebody, but rather wind up as in end, just to conclude. Does that help here? I just don't understand what's going on here. If this were a D. Oh. Message received? Yeah, that fits. Okay. So this is end, and then neopronoun with a nod to folklore. Fae. So I guess that's sort of referring to fae in the sense of fairies, that kind of thing. So neopronoun. I actually don't know what this pronoun refers to specifically. I'm sorry, but that must be the folklore bit makes me think that's clearly the answer. And then wind up is end, and all of this looks right to me. So that looks all fine. Great, let's move on. Oh, I haven't even seen this. Well, it doesn't matter that I haven't because I have no idea what this is. Blank Hardison, Aldous Hodge's character on Leverage. I don't even think I've ever heard of Leverage. Is that, I'm guessing it's a TV program, but I mean, it's either, Yeah, yeah. When you say on, you mean that means it's a TV program, right? I mean, if it were a film or a book, you'd say in, almost certainly. I don't know that I've ever thought about that before. It's funny. Anyway, Alec would fit. Not to be trusted. And if there were an L here, limbo prerequisite. Not sure. Yeah, I mean, Alec looks good, but I just don't, still not seeing the crosses, which is irritating, especially this one. You'd think I'd be able to get that. Not to be trusted. Seedy? That doesn't fit with A, but please, can you just not spare me, maybe? There we go. Oh, yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Oh, a pole. You need a limbo pole. There we go. Maybe this is Alec. Oh, shady. Not to be trusted. Shady. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Place that distributes things in tiny bottles. Hotel. I think some chains are starting to. I read an article that Marriott is going to stop distributing, shampoo and things in tiny bottles because it's just so ridiculously wasteful. Okay, aid in getting a job in marketing, in brief. Oh, an MBA, Master's Business Administration, presumably. Okay, that looks right. Washer, dryer, bath towel? Yeah, that's so clever. Yeah, that's great. So it is a dryer for someone who has washed a bath towel. That's very good. Okay, bit of whistleblowing, maybe. Not sure. And, oh, right. Okay, so here we go. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion, a.k.a. Tina Snow. There we go. So you really don't need to actually know anything about this person to solve this. You can infer this is. I mean, it's pretty clear Megan Thee Stallion is a stage name, so that becomes fairly. I think that's a pretty fair clue, even if you don't know who that is. A bit of whistleblowing maybe is a leak. Maybe you whistleblow about companies' misdeeds and that leak that information. Oh, right. So maybe this is Spanish. Está bien. I was thinking French, but as I said the other day, I really do need to become more familiar with Spanish for the crossword for no other reason, although there are obviously plenty of other good reasons. Okay, something not to look after. Something not to look after. Oh, I just don't see it. What about this? We have many of the letters at this point. Not in bounds. In extra time? No, that doesn't quite make sense anyway. One at a time? I mean, I'm thinking of all these things that sort of fit, but only if you removed a couple of the spaces here. This could be this could be something at a time, not in bounds. Oh, I just don't quite see it. I need more crosses. Agent informally. So I guess it's not a Fed. Recipe abbreviation, I sort of suspect is teaspoon. Agent informally. Oh, a representative. So not. I was really stuck on agent meaning a sort of law enforcement agent or something like that, but it's not. It's an agent for an actor or somebody like that, a representative. And there are other types of agent and rep as well, but that's the one that came to mind. Okay, pretend to know the host. Oh, gate crash a party? There we go. So something not to look after. I swear, sometimes in this puzzle there are just things that I have almost the entire word. It doesn't seem like it should be that difficult, and yet, just what letters am I not thinking of? Not to look after. A leap, you look. Oh, right. You look before you leap, not after you leap. So, wow, that's a very clever little punny clue there. That's very good. Okay, so does that help this? Not in bounds. Oh, why can I not see this? This is just infuriating. Okay. Oh, well, jargon could be lingo with that G there, one of the original things I had sort of speculated about, like old-fashioned sound reproduction. Really wanted that to be mono, but I guess it's not. Legends are insets in a map that wouldn't fit anyway, doesn't matter. I'm sure ocean is correct. Cheek or backbone. Oh, nerve. You've got some nerve. So cheek and backbone, right? And they do have slightly different implications in terms of what kind of nerve, what kind of self-possession you're demonstrating. But yeah, that's a good way to describe either of those things. So strength is what? This puzzle's activating some kind of blocker in my brain for relatively short answers, of which I have several crosses that I can't seem to see. Makes plans for the future. Well, it's not reverts, which is sort of what is it? Makes plans for the future. Oh, invests maybe? Plans as in retirement plans, that kind of thing? Yeah, that could be it. Oh, so lo-fi, low fidelity, old-fashioned sound reproduction. There we go. Oh, so strength is a forte. And then legends are icons, of course, right? Okay, so one step at a time. Why is that not in bounds? Also, that would make a Tim. It's often drawn with three. Do you draw an atom with three ellipses? Oh, we won, Champions Cry, right. What does that mean? Oh, it's often drawn with three ellipses. Atom. Can you draw three collections of three dots and make an atom in some kind of visual representation? I'm not really sure. Anyway, not in bounds. One step at a time. Why is that the answer? Bounds. Oh, right. Sorry. Boy, this puzzle really has put me through the ringer. So you're not leaping. You're not bounding. Right. So one step at a time. You're not taking big leaping, bounding steps. Right, there we go. And there was the Friday puzzle. That was a tough one. I do think that was difficult, for me anyway. I found it tough. So I think I finally got what was coming to me after a relatively approachable week by day. I don't know how much more difficult I found this than a typical Friday, but I did find it tricky. So some of those things, yeah, that one step at a time, that challenged me even after I had solved it. I didn't understand what it was. There were quite a few extremely clever clues in here. I mean, this one is one, not in bounds. That's very clever. And then similarly, actually, leaping and bounding, that's a nice cross there. Something not to look after you leap, that's very clever. There were some things that Faye, I'm just not sure exactly what the pronoun, what that pronoun implies, to be honest. And then gender euphoria, though, this is very clear what it means, even though I don't think I had seen the phrase before. It's pretty straightforward, and that euphoria was there aren't very many words that look like that, really. So that was sort of new to me, but not necessarily one of the things that tripped me up. I'm trying to think what the other ones were. Well, Adam did. I'm still not exactly sure what that is, to be honest. Yeah, it was just a tough puzzle. This one, weirdly, just all sorts of things throughout the grid. I found it tricky, but anyway, got there in the end. Message received. We won, etc. So there we have it. Tough Friday puzzle. In a way, glad for the kind of levee of anticipation to break and figure out that there was a tough puzzle coming. And now let's move on to a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. So what do we have here? Here's one from Ben Ward. So a funny thing about this viewer, Ben Ward, I was attending a taping, a sort of pre-taping of an episode of the game show Taskmaster yesterday at Pinewood Studios near London, and Ben Ward spotted me in the queue, and we hung around and chatted until it was time to go into the studio. So hello, Ben Ward. that was a fun coincidence. Anyway, so I don't know, maybe you'll see both of us in the audience of an upcoming episode of Taskmaster. We'll have to see. Anyway, Ben Ward says, as you note, 5 down, like pie but not cookies, with the answer being easy, refers to the phrase easy as pie, but I think there's another element at play. The choice of cookies as an example of things that are not easy is a reference to the phrase tough cookie, tough here doing double duty to either mean physically and emotionally strong, as in a person, or difficult, as in a question. That's a very clever observation. I hadn't picked up on that at all. I was definitely thinking of easy as pie, but then not how cookies is used in tough. Yes, that makes that clue even more clever. All right. James Dickey explains Casey Jones was an American railroad engineer who was killed in a train crash when his passenger train struck a stalled freight train. His skill as an engineer was credited with his being able to slow the train enough before impact so that none of the passengers were killed, although he, being at the front of the train, standing in a steam engine, was killed. The incident was immortalized in a popular folk song called "The Ballad of Casey Jones." Thank you. I don't think I was familiar with that. So, yes, thank you, James Dickey. A bit of American folklore there. And, well, I mean, I suppose folklore inspired by history. Andrew Postnikoff points out my error here. Queen Mab in Shakespeare is mentioned by Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet. Titania is the fairy queen in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yes, absolutely. So I wasn't confusing Queen Mab for Titania, but what I was doing was I remembered that Queen Mab was just mentioned as a character as opposed to existing as a character in the play, but I did completely forget which one it was. So indeed, Romeo and Juliet and not A Midsummer Night's Dream. Thank you, Andrew Postnikoff. And, it looks like that's it. Okay, so there we have it. 4 comments. Sorry if I missed anyone there, but that was what I had found. And I will be back tomorrow with a Saturday puzzle. Might have to go up in the evening. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yes, thank you for joining me today for this Friday puzzle, this tricky Friday puzzle. At least in my case, I thought it was. But until tomorrow for the Saturday, possibly even tougher puzzle, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.